In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Playzone 1TB retro gaming HDD that you can currently find on Amazon for about $80. This is coming from JMachen. It features over 16,000, almost 17,000 retro games that you can plug and play directly into your PC. Obviously, this sounds like an amazing deal, but is it really worth your money, and is the experience right out of the box what you would hope for? Howdy friends, it's Michael B. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this Playzone 1TB retro gaming HDD, which offers about 17,000 retro games. Well, is there really 17,000 games on this? Well, the proof is in the pudding, right? Anyways, I want to say a huge thank you to JMachen for sending this out to me for the purpose of this review. So anyways, what we're going to be doing today is taking a look at this $80 on Amazon gaming hard drive, seeing if it's worth your money and does it live up to performance expectations. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you so much everybody for checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate the support. If this is your first time to the channel, you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notification, all that YouTube jazz. Alright guys, so here we have the Playzone JMachen 1TB hard disk drive. It says 2.5, but it is 1TB. As you can see in the little box, we get the hard drive, and there are the cables attached. That's all that comes included. So guys, pay attention to this. There is a notice saying you need to download the operating environment. I usually like to play stuff out of the box, but don't worry, most of this stuff is already on your PC. So let's take this out of the box now, and you are going to find the smallest HDD you've ever seen in your entire life. Look at this thing. It is so tiny and cute. And next, guys, we're going to take a look at the included cables. The first cable is for setting up your hard drive inside your PC. The second one is what most people, I think, are going to use. This is an external cable. You plug this side in, the other side plugs into your PC with a USB, and that's all you need to do to get started. Alright guys, so once you get your Playzone hard drive connected, we're going to go down and find it here. You'll find it marked as Playzone and whatever file it goes into. So here you can see the different apps, and here is the Playzone user manual, which you're going to want to bring up. Let me bring it over to this screen so you can actually see it. Here is the hard drive user manual. It gives you instructions, supported on 64-bit Windows 8.1, 10, and 11. Here are some of the device specifications and what you're going to need in order to run this. A lot of people ask me in these videos, is my PC powerful enough? Well, all the information is in this user manual. I'll copy and paste this into the video description below so you can check it out for yourself and see whether or not your computer is going to be compatible. Now, on top of that, there is some information that you're going to have to download. Like a lot of these files, if you've ever ran one of these hard drives before, is already on your PC. Or if you do gaming on your PC, you're going to have a lot of these anyways. Like Steam, for example, uses some of these, but if you're using an older PC that doesn't have this information, or you don't do gaming on it previously, you're probably going to have to download some of these files in order to get it to work. So let's go back to the main page, and here you can see the different, like Playnite, Launchbox, and Retrobat. Those are going to be the emulators that we go in to play games. So let's start and go into Retrobat, which is one you're probably very familiar with because that's what I was playing all my games out of on my last hard drive review. So we get into Retrobat, and you will immediately notice this beautiful comic style drawing. However, my first problem immediately occurred, and if you're a YouTuber looking to pick this up to stream games from it, well, there's a bit of a problem, because when you actually do press on your buttons to get your controller working, it will cut out from OBS and go back and forth in. It's almost really hard to actually get OBS running and, Retrobat running from the Playzone 1TB hard drive. It was a challenge. Luckily, I eventually did figure it out so I can show you guys what's inside Retrobat here. Here is more of the niche system, some of the handhelds, so you're going to have to go into each one of the different emulator options to try different games. So I'm a big TurboGrafx 16 fan. That's one of the reasons I wanted to try this out, as well as some of these other games, but let's go ahead and check out the library for the TurboGrafx 16. Unfortunately, you will not find a library for the TurboGrafx 16. Instead, you will find a library of PC Engine games. So you're going to have to look up your favorite TurboGrafx 16 North American games under their Japanese names. Like, for example, I'm trying to find Blazing Lasers. Of course, it's known as Gunhead in Japan. What I can say, the emulation is really good for the PC Engine. Everything looks really good. Usually through emulation, when you're playing Blazing Lasers, there's an issue where the screen gets dark and then goes light again as you go to the scenes with just the stars there. I did not notice it while playing here. Everything played really well. Had a very good time playing Blazing Lasers, albeit it was Gunhead. The North American version wasn't available. Now we switch over to Launchbox, and this is what you're probably going to use for most stuff. I didn't have the same problems in Launchbox that I was having through Retrobat. Here you can see the NES library. You're going to notice a lot of empty squares, Famicom games, everything's kind of thrown in on one. Of course, we got to check out the emulation and how good it is, and you know, every single time I do this, I play Mega Man 2 and I do Quickman's Laser Stage to test the input delay. I actually did this with an Xbox One controller, or Xbox controller, Xbox Series X, and I can tell you, even though I'm not using, you know, a fancy retro controller here, I had no problem completing the lasers, getting through it. So again, the emulation seems to be very good in terms of input delay. Then, of course, another one of my favorite games on the NES to check out for input delay is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Happy to report everything looked really good, played like it should, and I was easily able to do what I normally do in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Now, where this is only a 1 terabyte hard drive, one of the areas that actually hurts is when you get into the disk-based games, ISOs. These take up a lot more space, so there's less options. But I will say, even though there's less Xbox games, there's a pretty good choice here. I decided to check out Halo Combat Evolved, and I ran into another issue. It wouldn't load. In fact, it actually crashed the emulator. I was unable to get any of the Xbox games working. I just got a black screen. Nothing was doing. So if you're buying this to play Xbox, you're out of luck. Then I went and checked out the N64 library, and we've got a pretty decent-sized N64 library. Of course, you're going to find Japanese-only N64 games mixed in with the North American library. It's not separated, but you've got a good selection of N64 games to choose from. Of course, you guys know when I'm playing N64, the game I like to test off is GoldenEye 007. It has a lot of problems through, those TV-based emulators that plug right in, and for some reason, when I tried to play GoldenEye, I did get the black screen like I did with Retrobat. Eventually, I did figure it out, got GoldenEye up and running through Launchbox on the Playzone, and I gotta say, the emulation was really good. The game played like it should. I had a lot of fun with GoldenEye, so GoldenEye gets a thumbs up. No weird graphical issues or play issues here. Everything played like it should. I had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, after I got out of the N64, I did have a weird issue where the actual hard drive looked like it became undiscoverable on my PC. I couldn't find it as one of the listed hard drives. I eventually had to go into my PC, and magically it appeared again, so I was able to re-access the hard drive, go in, and launch the games again. But a little bit of a scare. I thought we were going to be out of luck before I even got the review done. So we go back in the Launchbox, and you can go through all the classic consoles like Super Nintendo. You'll find a pretty big library. But again, like I said, disc-based stuff, you're getting a slimmer library. One thing I will say about JMachen compared to competitors like Kinhank, they have a better selection of games. They have a better library with a lot of the RPGs and niche games that made the PlayStation so friggin' exciting. So even though you're getting less games, you're probably getting a better selection of games. One big problem with PlayStation though is when I went in to check out the emulation to see if it worked, to see if the sound was there, everything synced up, PlayStation just didn't work. It seems like the BIOS was missing the region code, and I had no friggin' idea where to go to actually get this set up. So out of the box, you know, I'm not going to go looking at this stuff. I'm going to do a plug and play review. I couldn't play PlayStation. So then I went and checked out the GameCube library, and like I said, with all the disc-based stuff, you're getting a lot smaller library here. So there are a couple choice games, but a lot of really good ones are missing from the GameCube library. Now, when I did go into the game, I went into Dinosaur Planet, otherwise known as Star Fox Adventures, and unfortunately, it is in some kind of widescreen mode. But I love the way GameCube looks emulated on my PC. Everything looks so crisp, so much better than it looked on the GameCube. It makes this system look fantastic. So obviously, Dinosaur Planet, Star Fox Adventures was looking good here, but I couldn't use a controller. The only way I could actually play the game would actually knock it off from OBS and recording, so I can't show you what the play was like. I can only show you the scenes when I could take the controller off. So again, if you're a YouTube streamer, get prepared because it's going to be hard to play GameCube. Then, of course, we take a look at the Wii library, and the Wii library is super small. The Wii U library, same again, super small. But for fans of illegal emulation, don't worry, there are a small library of Switch games here as well. One of my favorites I always go to is Super Mario Bros. Odyssey, so I had a lot of fun playing this. This worked pretty well. There were some skipping during cinema scenes, and I know my computer's powerful enough to do it, so I don't really know what the issue there was, but the gameplay itself ran fantastically. Everything looked really good, so you can at least play Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on this pretty accurately. Now let's go take a look at the Dreamcast library. Very small Dreamcast library. There's not a lot of hits here. There are some good games I normally play. Of course, I always check out Soul Calibur. It's one of my favorites. The emulation here is really good. Like, the games look super crisp, beautiful even. Everything works like it should. Very impressed with the emulation on the Dreamcast. And they also have Sega Saturn here as well. Even with Saturn on some of the bigger hard drives, there's usually some issues with emulation. You got a small library here, but some good games. I immediately went in and checked out Shining Force 3. This is a game I've been meaning to play through for forever. Just had to get through the first two Shining Force games first. Most of the way through, I finished Shining Force 1. I'm getting to Shining Force 2, then I'll finally get into this one. Glad to see it work so well on this hard drive. But then for more of an immediate action-paced game, of course, I'm going to bring up Daytona USA. This is probably one of the best experiences I've had playing Daytona USA off an emulator. Really good version of Daytona USA. Had a lot of fun with this, but you can start to see issues where my controller went nuts during my gameplay. Then last but not least, even though Sony PlayStation 1 didn't work, I wanted to go check out PlayStation 2, so we got a very, very small library here, but you do get the Final Fantasy games, which usually the competitors don't provide, so that is a good thing. I decided to do some testing by playing Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. This is the game that got me into the Metal Gear franchise. I gotta say, the emulation, again, looked really good through the hard drive with my PC. Game ran smoothly. I had a ton of fun playing it. So PlayStation 2, even though we've got a small library, works really well on the hard drive. Now, they do advertise some Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 games, but in reality, these games aren't any of those consoles. They're actually just the PC versions that you can find here under Playnite, so there's no game under those headings that you will not find here. Anyways, I would love to show you more of these games and how they ran, but unfortunately, after I ran the PlayStation 2 software, the console finally did become undiscoverable, and I could do nothing more with the review. Right now, I basically have a rock because I can't find this thing and get back in and try it anymore. Now, if you do want to know more about this product, check out my buddy Cool Toy. He did a review on the Playzone as well. He didn't seem to run into the same issues I did with this hard drive, so you can go check out Cool Toy's video. I'll post a link in the description down below if you are interested in more about this product and possibly picking it up. Again, like I said, Cool Toy had a lot easier time with the product, didn't run into the same issues, so this may give you a better understanding of what the product can do. So anyways, guys, that's my look at the JMachen Playzone 1TB retro gaming HDD. Again, I had a lot of problems with mine. If I'm going to review it based on my experience, I'm going to score it pretty low because right now it's completely unusable to me, and the experience I did have it with it while it was working wasn't exactly great for what I would use it for. I would obviously use it for live streaming, recording gameplay, not just playing games, and it seemed like it was very hard to get working in that capacity. And the fact that the Xbox games and PlayStation 1 games didn't work out of the box obviously was a huge downer for me as well. Other than that, I will say once again, go check out Cool Toy's review. He had a lot more fun with it than I did. Obviously, he didn't run into the same issues, so if you're considering it and you want to take into consideration more than my issues I had with the product, he's got a great video on it. Outside of my issues, some of the other things I didn't really like about it, you usually buy these retro hard drives because you want to get more of those modern retro, not necessarily the illegal, questionable Switch games, but you want libraries like the PlayStation 1, like the PlayStation 2, like Xbox, maybe even the Wii and Wii U, and what we've seen on this hard drive was incredibly limited. And then again, like I'm talking about, when you go into the NES library, it is flooded with not just NES games, but also Famicom games. You can't even find TurboGrafx 16 because it's under PC Engine, and those games are labeled under their Japanese names, not their North American names, so very hard to find. So a lot of issues, but the trade-off, of course, is it's only $80 on Amazon. So take all those things into consideration when making your purchasing decision. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of the JMachen Playzone 1TB gaming hard drive? Is it something you'd be interested in, or are you looking at it kind of the way I'm looking at the one I got right now? This seems like it might not be the best purchase. Anyways, guys, let me know. Thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time.